Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be tackling how to absolutely crush it in a lift installation supervisor interview.
Yeah, we're going to dig into what those hiring managers are really looking for beyond just, your basic qualifications.
Exactly. And to help us out, we've got RoleCatcher's awesome career guide and their super cool AI tools. We'll be using their insights throughout this whole deep dive, so get ready to take some notes.
It's like having a secret weapon for your job search.
Okay, so let's jump right into it with a question that often trips people up. What inspired you to pursue a career as a lift installation supervisor? Now, I know what you're thinking. Easy, the money. But it's got to be more than that, right?
You hit the nail on the head. Hiring managers, they want to see your passion. They want to know what gets you excited about this specific line of work.
So it's about showing them you're not just there for a paycheck, but that you actually understand and are interested in the job itself.
Exactly. Think about it. What are the things that drew you to this field? Maybe it's the satisfaction of seeing a project come together from start to finish, seeing that lift finally in action. Or perhaps it's the importance of safety on the job site.
Right, because ensuring a safe work environment is absolutely crucial in this role. And you can bet those hiring managers are going to be looking for someone who takes that seriously.
Absolutely. And don't forget about the problem-solving aspect of it. Every installation comes with its own set of challenges, so being able to think on your feet is key.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of showcasing your passion and your understanding of the role. But how do you actually convey that in an interview?
That's where a little bit of storytelling comes in. Instead of just listing off generic reasons, try to think of a specific anecdote or experience that really ignited your interest in this field.
So instead of saying, I'm passionate about safety, I could talk about a time when I saw firsthand the importance of proper lift installation.
Exactly. Or maybe you were inspired by a mentor who taught you the ropes, or a particularly challenging project that you successfully completed.
I like it. It's about making it personal and relatable. Now, here's where RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
Oh, tell me more.
So you can actually practice your answer to this question using their AI-powered platform. And get this, it'll give you personalized feedback on how to make your response even stronger.
Wow, that's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
Right. It'll help you tailor your response to the specific company and role you're applying for.
That's brilliant.
And that brings us to another classic interview question. What experience do you have in managing a team of lift installers? So we're moving from passion to leadership.
And it's not enough to just say, oh, I've managed teams before. You've got to back it up with some solid example.
Okay, so what kind of examples would really showcase those leadership skills? We're talking about lift installation here, so it's a specific type of management, right?
Absolutely. Think about those times when you had to motivate your team. Maybe you were facing a tight deadline or a particularly complex installation. How did you keep everyone on track and working together effectively?
Right, because a good lift installation supervisor doesn't just bark orders, they inspire their team to do their best work.
Exactly. And they lead by example, too. You want to show that you're not afraid to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty right alongside your team.
So it's about finding that balance between delegation and hands-on involvement.
Precisely. And it's about communication. A great leader knows how to communicate effectively with their team, providing clear instructions, offering support, and addressing any concerns that may arise.
Communication is key in any job, but especially in a role like this where safety is paramount.
Absolutely. Now, remember that RoleCatcher Career Guide we talked about earlier?
Oh yeah, it's packed with great insights.
Well, it emphasizes those crucial skills for lift installation supervisors. Communication, problem solving, and those all-important people skills.
So when you're crafting your answer about your leadership experience, try to highlight how you've used those skills to overcome challenges and achieve success.
It's about connecting the dots for the hiring manager, showing them you've got what it takes to lead a team in this demanding field.
And speaking of problem solving, I feel like that's a huge part of any supervisor role, but especially when you're dealing with something as technical as lift installation.
Oh, absolutely. Things can and will go wrong on a job site. That's just the nature of the beast.
But how do you show a hiring manager that you can handle those curveballs? That you're the one they want on their team when things get tough?
Well, that's where RoleCatcher's next interview question comes in. Can you give me an example of a time when you had to troubleshoot a problem during a lift installation process? They're really trying to get a sense of your thought process here.
Okay, so it's not just about listing off every problem you've ever encountered. It's about how you approached those challenges.
You got it. Did you stay calm under pressure? Did you take a step-by-step approach to figure out what was going wrong?
Because panicking never helps. It's about staying level-headed and finding a solution.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to talk about what you learned from those experiences, even if the solution wasn't immediately obvious.
So it's okay to admit that I didn't have all the answers right away, as long as I can show how I worked through the problem and, ideally, found a solution.
Exactly. In fact, showing that you're willing to learn and adapt from your mistakes is a huge plus in any leadership role.
And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be super valuable.
Oh, how so?
Well, you can actually input different versions of your problem-solving story, and the AI will give you feedback on which one best highlights your skills and aligns with what hiring managers are looking for.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like having an instant replay for your interview.
Right. It helps you fine-tune your answer and really showcase your abilities.
Now, let's move on to another critical skill for Lift Installation Supervisors. Organization. I mean, you're juggling so many moving parts in this role, from managing teams and timelines to ensuring everything meets safety standards. It's a lot to keep track of.
You're telling me a disorganized job site is a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. So, how do you convince a hiring manager that you're the king or queen of organization, that you've got those systems in place to keep everything running smoothly?
Well, RoleCatcher's got you covered again with this question. How do you manage your workload and prioritize tasks as a lift installation supervisor?
Okay, so they're not just looking for a one-word answer like calendars or to-do lists.
Nope. You got to go deeper than that. Think about those times when you were juggling multiple projects or deadlines. How did you stay on top of everything? What tools or strategies did you use to keep yourself organized? Because, let's be real, everyone has their own way of staying organized. Some people are all about those color-coded spreadsheets, while others thrive on a good old-fashioned whiteboard.
Absolutely. The key is to find what works best for you and then be able to articulate that clearly to the hiring manager.
And if you can connect your organizational skills back to tangible results, even better.
100%. Did you successfully manage a complex project under a tight deadline? Did you implement a new system that improved efficiency on the job site? Those are the kind of details that make your answer stand out.
Right, it's about showing, not just telling. And here's another insider tip from RoleCatcher. Their AI can analyze your responses for keywords related to time management, organization, and those administration and management skills that are so important in this role.
So it's like having a second set of eyes to make sure you're hitting all the right notes.
Exactly. It's all about putting your best foot forward. Now, let's face it, even the most organized supervisor will encounter conflict at some point. You're working with different personalities, often under pressure. It's bound to happen.
That's just part of being a leader, right? Dealing with those interpersonal challenges.
Exactly. So how do we navigate those tricky waters? Well, RoleCatcher asks, how do you handle conflicts or disagreements within your team? And I'm guessing they're not looking for someone who avoids conflict altogether.
No way. They want someone who can face those situations head on and find a resolution that works for everyone involved.
So it's about those conflict resolution skills.
Yeah.
But how do you talk about those in a way that shows you're a problem solver, not a problem starter?
Right. You don't want to throw anyone under the bus. It's all about focusing on the positive. Think about a time when you successfully mediated a disagreement between team members. Or maybe you had to address a conflict with a contractor or supplier. How did you handle those situations?
So it's about highlighting those times when I was able to find common ground, even when things got a little heated.
Exactly. And it's about demonstrating those key qualities like active listening, empathy, and a willingness to compromise. You want to show that you can stay calm under pressure and find a solution that's in the best interest of the project.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's about getting the job done right and maintaining those professional relationships.
Absolutely. And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
Oh, tell me more.
So their platform can actually analyze the tone and language you're using when you describe these conflict situations.
Wow, really? That's so cool.
Yeah. It can give you feedback on whether you're coming across as professional and respectful, even when you're talking about a tough experience.
That's so valuable. It's like having a communication coach right there with you. Okay, so we've talked about conflict, but there's another biggie that keeps every project manager up at night. The budget.
Oh, yeah, money talks, right. And in the world of lift installation, staying within budget is crucial.
For sure. So how do we convince those hiring managers that we're budget savvy, that we can be trusted to manage their resources responsibly?
Well, RoleCatcher gets right to the point with this question. How do you ensure that all lift installations are completed within budget?
Okay, so it's not enough to say, I'm good with numbers. We need to show them, right?
Exactly. Think about those times when you had to make tough decisions to stay within budget. Maybe you negotiated a better price with the supplier or found a more cost-effective way to approach an installation.
And if I've had experience managing budgets in a previous role, even if it wasn't directly related to lift installation, I could still draw on those experiences, right?
Absolutely. The key is to highlight those transferable skills. Did you successfully manage a budget? Identify and eliminate unnecessary expenses. Those experiences are valuable, no matter what industry you're in.
It's all about showing that you're mindful of the bottom line and that you can be trusted to make smart financial decisions.
Exactly. And remember, RoleCatcher's Career Guide emphasizes the importance of administration and management knowledge for this role. So highlighting your budget management skills definitely ties into that.
Speaking of the career guide, it also talks about the importance of meeting industry standards, which brings us to RoleCatcher's final interview question for aspiring lift installation supervisors.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that all lift installations meet or exceed industry standards?
Okay, so this one's all about quality control. They want to know that you're not just trying to get the job done quickly, you're also focused on doing it right.
Right, because cutting corners can have some seriously dangerous consequences when you're talking about lifts.
No doubt. So you want to highlight those times when you went above and beyond to ensure that an installation met the highest standards.
So maybe a time when I noticed a potential issue and spoke up, even though it meant delaying the project.
Exactly. Or maybe you implemented a new safety protocol or took extra steps to double-check your work. Those are the kinds of actions that demonstrate your commitment to quality.
It's about having that inner drive to do things right, even when no one's looking over your shoulder. And hey, this is another area where RoleCatcher itself can be a valuable resource.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Right. You can actually use their platform to stay updated on all the latest industry standards and regulations.
So not only are you showing that you're committed to meeting those standards, but you're also demonstrating that you're proactive and resourceful in seeking out that information.
Exactly. It shows that you're invested in your career and always looking for ways to improve. And that's what RoleCatcher is all about. Empowering job seekers to put their best foot forward.
I couldn't agree more. And with their AI-powered tools, like the CV resume builder and the personalized interview feedback, they make it so much easier to navigate the job search process with confidence.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's recap what we've learned.
We talked about those key interview questions, those make or break moments that can determine whether you land that dream job as a lift installation supervisor.
And we explored how RoleCatcher's insights and AI-powered tools can give you a serious edge in your job search.
It's all about preparation, practice, and putting your best self forward.
Well said. And with that, we'll leave you with this final thought. As technology continues to advance, how do you see the role of a lift installation supervisor evolving in the future?
Ooh, that's a great question. Something to ponder as you embark on this exciting career path.
Until next time, best of luck with your interview. You've got this.